Danville, Alabama. Population 5,340. Home to 16 churches, 3 schools, and 1 flashing red light. It's also home to the #1 4A volleyball team and coach in the state.
Set up on the backside!
And this is their story. In 2002, Holly Little took a teaching position at Danville High School.
I was given a job. Coach Ellis said, my name's volleyball coach, and you know how to play. I said, that's fine, but now things have changed. Changed a whole lot since I played. Is there any help? He said, I got the guy for you.
Coach Ellis said, hey, Spencer will help you. And so that's how it all started.
I thought, what in the land is he doing? Why is he wanting to do this?
It goes back to, it's not a love of volleyball. It's really a love of people, love of young people especially. When I first started coaching, I was a graduate student at UAH. I was in engineering and lasers and optics and things like that. So my day job was a lot different than coaching.
Him and Holly worked well together because Holly was very open to allowing him to come in and coach. Our philosophy might have been a little different than some that were there at the time.
You're trying to change a culture, and there's going to be natural resistance. People that are there think, why does it need to change?
He studied the game. Practices became a little more intense.
At first, some people wasn't used to the way he was coaching. So it took a few years for everybody to catch on.
We think about our heyday as being the last 10 years, but the groundwork was being laid in those first 3. We learned things those first 3 years that we've carried through the whole 10 years.
For the 2005 season, the Lady Hawks had only 1 returning senior.
My senior year, we walked in day 1 and we believed in each other and we believed in Spencer. Like whatever he told us, it was law.
And that was probably the first time that team, we all worked together and we were all very, very close.
The year before, they didn't play a tough schedule. My philosophy has always been, hey, we're going to lace them up against the best that we can find. And if we win, we win. If we lose, we get better.
Competition was tough, really, and as the season went on, you get to realize, hey, we're a little better than we thought we were going to be.
The Lady Hawks qualified to play in the state tournament in 2005.
We advanced to the state tournament and nobody ever thought that we were going to do it. We didn't know any better. We were just playing because we loved the game.
Everybody was excited. The whole community was excited. The elementary sent us off. The high school sent us off.
It was my senior year, so for me it was like you had done it. Finally.
Walking in that arena the night before, letting them lay on the floor and take pictures.
We didn't really know what it was going to be about. We just didn't know, but we went to tell them and walked in there and saw people who you could tell just knew what was going on, and we were thinking, what in the world is this?
The atmosphere, it was just crazy how many people were there and the lights. And I'd never played in a situation like that before.
I remember our student body was just nuts.
They're painted up, they've cut volleyballs in half and they're wearing them on their heads.
They cheered it really loud and were probably louder than any other student section.
The format of state was really different. You played pool play instead of sub-state.
There were 8 teams in your classification. You were in a pool with 4 of them.
And then we went into the bracket. We played quarterfinals, semifinals, and then the finals.
Everybody started taking who are these kids from Danville?
Sometimes when you were standing around talking, you were talking about that Danville team.
We were playing teams that were bigger schools and a lot better than us, and we were competing with them and beating those teams.
I think everybody thought something was out there to attain.
It's like they got stronger each game.
They go through pool play, they play real well. They win every game in pool play. We know Montgomery Academy is the team that everybody says that's the team you got to beat. They're in the top half, we're in the bottom half. We meet in the finals.
We were playing a team that had gotten beat in the finals the season before.
We were going to play for the state championship.
And although we were going up against a private school, even at that time, I just feel like we were so naive that it didn't matter.
It was my senior year, and we had just done what nobody else had done.
We couldn't come that far and not win.
By the time we got to that final,
game, it's just like you can breathe for them, you know.
To see your child get their name called out in the championship match, you know, just to see all those girls and they lined them up and called their names out.
Montgomery Academy is a private school, and I believe they had previous state championships.
Well, they had, you know, a seasoned coach.
They had big girls on the front.
They had a couple of really, really good hitters.
We were the complete opposite. We had like one big girl and not been there a lot.
I remember game 2. Game 1, they beat us. Game 2, we had them 22-20, something like that.
I just remember the game slowly getting taken away from us. And that's a terrible feeling.
We played well. They just played better.
It was almost like we did everything we thought that we could do, and it still wasn't enough.
Getting second place, it was upsetting at the time, but it is still a big deal, and I see that a lot more now.
We knew that we tasted it. We wanted to be back.
We were hoping even losing would be a stepping stone for what was to come.
The 2006 season began with high expectations.
There were expectations that we would wind up in the finals with against that same team. And we kind of expected it, to be honest with you.
We had a lot of returning starters. We only lost one senior.
The year before, every time they won a game, it was like, oh wow, that's great. We didn't expect you to do that. Now, it's not going to be good enough. They've got to win it all. People are going to be disappointed.
We had a target on our backs.
We knew we had a very good shot. We had very talented players. Lauren was our leading killer that year. Bethany set for us. I mean, we had a lot of other key role players in that year.
Had a good postseason, won the region, beat Lexington once in regular season, once in postseason. And that's who we wound up facing in the semifinals.
I think that we may have kind of got the idea in our heads that we've already beaten them so many times that we should again.
They were ready. And it wasn't even the same team that we had played in the regionals.
They did a good job defending Lauren, defending her hits. Most of the time, if Lauren was going up for a hit, it was going to be a kill and we were going to get a point.
I guess we got down 2-0.
Lexington played well. And Lexington, just beat us the third game. And that was, that was a difficult thing.
That's one of those things that team had to pay for, but I learned at that point, you don't take anybody for granted.
It was awful. I guess because it was a team that we had beaten, a team we could have beaten.
Now you got parents crying. Because it's not like the year before when you're thinking, oh, well, this is just great, I think it disappointed everybody. I know the girls were disappointed.
I feel like a lot of people put us there. They had already kind of, in their minds, put us against Montgomery Academy for a rematch in the state finals.
They had bought in and they had done everything that we asked them to do. It was just we were kind of young as a program.
And you got to realize there's about 60-something teams in the state. And in the semis, there's only 4 there. That's pretty good.
After we played for runner-up, after we played in the championship game, we never made it that far. We always got put out in the semifinals.
Coming back in 2007, 4 starting seniors had graduated.
Lauren and Bethany both played college volleyball at Wallace State. Lauren's the player of the year for the state of Alabama in junior college 2 years later and goes on to UAH. And so, is it just those players or are we going to have a program here?
In 2007, the Lady Hawks made it back to the state tournament for the 3rd year in a row.
When you lose the core, a core group like that, you're going to be down, and people expect you to be down for a year or 2.
Well, you lost this person, or you lost a setter, or you lost a hitter. Well, we'll find somebody else. We'll get somebody else to do that. We've got people trained,
It was becoming a thing of what Danville Volleyball did. We went to the state tournament.
We lost in the semifinals, yet again, the curse. This time it was to Madison Academy.
And I remember one of the parents going, 3 years in a row, you just don't see that. And I remember standing where we were outside the gym thinking, it's going to be a lot more than this,
After the season ended, Holly Little stepped down as coach to spend more time with her family. TK Kinney, a football coach at the time, was given the opportunity to join the volleyball program.
I've had coached the volleyball team for the last 7 years.
TK's knowledge of the game has grown so much.
My experience with coaching had always been with boys, and I really didn't have any idea how much harder that I feel like girls will play for you.
We just develop talent.
Spencer was all about mechanics. He was all about the little things.
You could tell he knew exactly what he was doing, and
he's kind of like a volleyball engineer.
Everything he does has a precision to it.
We didn't just do normal drills, we did Spencer engineering drills.
Every day we worked, we practiced. There was no off days.
Coaching is a partnership. It's a partnership between the coach and the player. And there's a trust there, and if the trust isn't there, then you don't have much of a partnership.
Spencer's coaching style is really intense.
A coach of many colors.
A lot of energy. High gear all the time.
He thinks outside of the box.
Unique. Different.
Passionate. Competitive.
Technical.
Focused.
Determined. Supportive.
But he has that side of him that he shows the girls, that he loves them. And it's more than just about volleyball. That he wants them to be successful in life.
He knew he was teaching those girls lessons for life that they would take with them for the rest of their life.
He was trying to build more than just a volleyball player.
I believe there is not any other coach like him at all.
Anytime you're volunteering to do anything that you don't have to do, you're going to be good at it.
There's something about helping people succeed, especially young people. They can step on your shoulders and become more than what they thought they could.
Each year, the Lady Hawks continued to make it to the state tournament in what would become a 10-year tradition.
The tone was set.
My senior season, we have 4 seniors. I'm thinking I'm not about to be the first group that doesn't go to state.
We're Danville, we're going to do what it takes to go to state.
The 4 of us had been there at the start. We were there that freshman year when we got second in the state.
After having such close games and having a moment where you think to yourself that, we might lose and we might not get to go to state, it was definitely a relief to win those games.
We made the semifinals in 2008, 2009, 2010. I think we got put out in the quarterfinals both of those years.
My senior year, we had to rebuild completely.
We had Jada Callahan coming back that had experience, and then Haley Ray had some experience, but not in the position she was going to be playing.
All I heard going into my senior year when we were rebuilding, this might be the year that the streak ends, and we weren't allowing that to happen.
Haley Ray moved to be a setter. Sydney came on strong. Jada became a scorer.
It took a lot of hard work to make it to state. We worked for a long time.
When it actually happened, we were just like, holy crap, we made state. We're just as good as the team before us and the team before them.
The 2011 team made believers out of everyone. Not only did they make it to the state tournament, but they won their way into the semifinals to compete against Montgomery Academy.
We had a very inexperienced team, and we went five games with them, and we're 3 points away from playing in the state finals again. I squatted down and I said, you made believers out of a lot of folks.
So that's a very special season too, because some people may count them out.
And that team came a long way, and I think that, it kind of builds your credibility as a coach.
Not many teams have done that. Not many coaches have coached teams to the state tournament 10 years in a row.
Elena and Lauren and Bethany and I have talked a lot about the girls now don't know what it's like to not be at state.
I remember watching when Haley Hensley, Bethany Evans, and Lauren played. We would go to state every year just to watch them.
And throughout those years, there was a camaraderie around our team.
Nobody cared who got credit.
And for us, it was more like a team effort. We didn't really get jealous or anything like that.
We had all grew up together. A lot of us were related. We were cousins and best friends and sisters. We had 3 sets of sisters on the team at one time.
We just developed friendships that carried out.
Kind of shocked me to go to other schools and see teams that have so much drama or don't like each other and just different stuff like that, and I'm like, I've never had to deal with this. We always got along.
We just play volleyball with our friends.
It's almost like we weren't just playing for us, but we were playing for everybody else that had played before us.
It's just a culture that's been built there through Spencer and all his hard work and dedication, and every year there's a ton of girls that buy into that.
The 2014 season was highly anticipated. It was Spencer Cole's last year to coach, and also his last chance to bring home a state championship trophy.
The rankings came out and we're put at number 1, everybody's like, oh, congrats, it's cool. But I freaked out. We freaked out.
We're looking to win the state championship.
They had a vision and they felt like they weren't going to be denied.
We changed from being a 3A high school to a 4A. It was, uncharted territory because our opponents were going to be different. Who we crossed over with would be different.
We weren't going to have to deal with the private schools, which we hang with the private schools, we do, but it's just a different atmosphere.
When workouts start in the summer, a lot of teams have a vision of winning a state championship and have a dream of that. We had a vision for how we were going to win a state championship.
He told us just to trust and not hope.
When we would say, we hope we play good, or we hope we close our block, we hope we have a good serve, he would tell us hope isn't a strategy, you have to trust.
So this summer of 2014, we adopted the motto, hope is not a strategy. And all we mean by that is we're not going to hope, we're going to trust in our training, trust we're training the right things, and stay true to that training, and trust that it's going to be enough at the end.
The 2014 season was off to a great start, but the Tournament of Champions is where the Lady Hawks kicked it into high gear.
I think the turning point was the Tournament of Champions. Coach has put that on for years and we've never won it.
We actually normally get put out really early because there's so many good teams in it.
Most teams are ranked in the top 5 of their classification.
But we played our hearts out and we won, and I actually cried that day. I was so happy.
Tournament of Champs was the day I think all the girls realized that they had what it took.
And it was the following Monday or Tuesday that we played at Hartsel. And we kind of had to kill a little time before the game, and so I just kind of had a talk with them.
Spencer told us that most coaches tell their kids, the team we're playing puts their pants on, one leg at a time, just like everybody else.
He said we don't want to be like everybody else, and we want to be better than everybody else.
And so I said, but it is possible for a person to physically put their pants on both legs at a time.
And he told us to start putting our pants on 2 legs at a time, so we would be different.
So how do you do that on the court? How do you make yourself unbeatable?
You just give it your all, and you play hard. And if they're doing better, then you've got to come out and show that you are the better team.
So we started identifying what are the things that we're going to make sure that we do that's going to make us unbeatable.
And we literally went to the bathroom, took off our spandex, and then put them back on 2 legs at a time. And we did it from there on out.
The Lady Hawks continued their domination of the 2014 season into the Super Regional Tournament.
And we just kind of took that place by storm.
Okay, we played Jacksonville in the Super Regionals final. And we had never played them before.
They were the defending state champions.
We had heard they had really good hitters. They'd watched some film on them.
When we knew that they would be the team we had to beat at state.
It started off pretty terrible.
They beat us the first set, and my heart kind of dropped. Not really because I didn't think we could do it, but they were better than I thought they were.
It went to a set of 5, so it came down to the last game.
I got blocked in that game so many times, more than I probably have all year combined.
Their goal was to shut her down.
And the other girls just stepped up and found ways to score. And that gave us a lot of confidence.
To know that we could beat them without me even being there, I knew that we would be fine at state.
In 2014, the Danville Lady Hawks made it to the state tournament for the 10th year in a row. As the top seed from the north, they quickly advanced to the state championship game.
The fact that we can make it 10 years in a row is really, it really shows how great of a coach Spencer was.
This year we went in and we're like, we've already beat all these teams and we can do it again.
People would say, you could do this for the first time in 50 years, you can do this, this can be our first state championship.
Well, I was pretty calm. I was confident that we had it.
When we were sitting in a little huddle right before the state championship game, and we were talking about the things that we needed to do to win.
We knew we'd have to work on specific shots and kind of change up what we did.
I said, we don't play safe. I said, we got to have confidence, and if you play safe, you'll regret it for the rest of your life if we lose.
I could tell Spencer was nervous, but Spencer had more on the line than me or anybody else there, and the players had more on the line.
I never felt the pressure. I was just ready to play. I knew we could do it, and I trusted, and I didn't hope.
Right before we took the court, I just told them, I said, we'll go out there and we're going to put our pants on both legs at a time. We're not going to hope, we're going to trust, and we're gonna play the game of our lives right here.
When they hit the floor, they was on fire.
There wasn't one player that didn't do their job.
Everybody come through with a big play at the right time.
They just hustled and dove after every ball. And
Kelly came up huge. I mean, she had 18 kills just like Sydney did. I mean, just powering the ball through. Kelly's 5'5", maybe 5'6", strong as an ox, but shouldn't be able to score, but she does.
There was a big momentum. Like every time somebody would do something good, we wouldn't just cheer. We would like cry while we cheered in the middle of the game.
Drew Fitzgerald was one of our assistant coaches, and I looked over at Drew and I said, Drew, this is really fixing to happen, because there's no way that they're going to score 8 or 10 points before we score one.
You were pretty much witnessing history and you knew it.
One of the things that I really loved is, I mean, the final point came on tooling the block, and that's what we worked on.
I hit the ball off the block and I tooled it.
Set up on the backside. It's tipped, and the point goes to Danville, and they're the state champ.
It was kind of like time stood still as the ball went out of bounds.
Spencer yelled out that gurgling scream that he had.
I pretty much went up and tackled Sydney.
And I was laying on the floor and I was hugging her. We were crying our eyes out.
We could have laid there for forever.
The stands went crazy.
It was just utter chaos.
It just erupted. I think we cried as much as the players that were out there.
To see them perform in front of their peers and to be really held up on a pedestal, that's really, really special.
We had built this up for 10 years, and it's all we had wanted every single year, and they finally did it, and I felt like I was just as much a part of it as any player was on the floor.
Everything finally came together, and there's your state championship.
Winning the state could have been better scripted.
After it kind of calmed down a little bit, the team got together and started singing the alma mater for Danville, and the whole crowd started singing.
Sydney Shelton received the honor of MVP, and both Kelly Stiles and Charlie Anderson were named to the All-Tournament team. For the first time in school history, the Danville Lady Hawks have a state trophy.
And I was just so happy, and it was exciting.
It wasn't just one of us. It wasn't just our team. It was the whole entire Danville community. Just
me and some former players kind of tackled Spencer after and was like, this is ours too.
They're part of it, and I hope they feel part of it, because in my heart they are.
But I also looked at Coach Cole and I realized how many years of hard work that he put in. And he'd been there for so many years and so close. And to see not only our girls accomplish a great feat, but also to see a coach get to the top of the mountain. And special.
13 years ago, I did see us where we are now. I just saw it a whole lot sooner. Took us a while to get here, but the journey was what it's all about.
From all the way back to the first time Spencer coached in girls is represented in this championship.
I know that Tara and the girls before that all worked their butt off, and they just never quite made it. And for us to win it for them too was a big deal.
We just had to get the right team, the right time.
I never thought that I would be able to be a part of a team like that.
They deserve it. Spencer deserves it more than anybody. To have been there 10 years in a row, I think it was long overdue.
You know, when we first came in, I started talking about a blue trophy, and I think the girls didn't really know what that was.
That first team may have set a goal of expectations, but each year, each team picked that challenge up and tried to continue that goal, to reach it. And this team finished that.
I think the last state championship was in 62, 63.
I think that 50-year span really kind of lets everybody know, okay, this doesn't happen all the time. This is a big deal.
2015 is going to be the most important season of Danville volleyball in a while. Are you going to stick together? Are you going to be a family, or are you going to fall apart? I think that the legacy is that we're a family.
It's like a whole community that would stick together.
And it's a friendship that goes across 10 years.
Because there's always that bond.
I just think that it's more about life than it is about wins and losses.
I think it's a legacy of hard work, surpassing expectations.
Being one of the top teams in the county.
We compete with everybody.
To go to state is something that they just do.
We were in the state tournament. We made it to the state championship once, and we made it again, and we won. And I think people look at us and respect us for that.
We'll definitely be remembered for winning state.
Before this season, it was, we almost made it. Now it's, we know we can do it. It just takes the time and effort.